Hello, Bear Creek. Hope your spring is off to a good start. Have a couple things I'd like to talk to you about today. I'd first like to specifically address our Asian American community, families, and students about the racial violence that we've seen in Atlanta and Seattle and New York. I know that many of you are hurting right now and that you're in a lot of pain in regards to that. And I want you to know that your school community is here for you, that we stand in solidarity with you, that we're here to support you, and also that we are here as Christians and as a school, and that we condemn racism in all of its form, and injustice in all of its form. Racism is wrong. Racism is sin. Racism is an affront to God. It destroys who we are as people. It takes the beauty of our diversity, being made in God's image and being made separate creatures, and it turns it on its head. And so as a school, I want you to know that we condemn that and that we stand with you in condemning that and are here to support you. You know, it's interesting. At the heart of the gospel is, ironically, justice. God calls for us to be just and to follow his law. And we don't. We break that law all the time. So I would encourage each of us as we think through this and as we look for ways to be supportive of our Asian American friends in community, that we would look inside, that we would look in our hearts, that we would recognize the sin in our own hearts, and then we would look for ways not just to look in, but to look out and to be supportive and to promote and to seek justice, both in our families, with our friends, and out in the general community and in the culture. I also want to remind you that we have launched our No Ordinary People plan as part of our Strategic Plan 2024 and have put together a parent advisory group. I've reached out to several of you, and we'll be getting together in April to help us to build systems and to help us as a school to improve in being supportive of all students at the Bear Creek School. And finally, I also want to remind you about next year. We can't talk about next year or this year without mentioning COVID, and remind you to register for Bear Creek Choice. We've revised our program, and we're asking you to register for the first 8 weeks in the fall so we get a sense of who will be on campus and who will be remote. So please finish that survey. I think it's due tomorrow, the 23rd of March. All year and for 18 months or so now, we've been saying hashtag Grizzlies Together in reference to COVID, and of course that's still true. But even as we talk about coming together as a community and supporting one another, it's even more important to remember that as a community and as a community of faith, that we need to come together to be supportive, to recognize injustice in the world, and to work to make it right. So hashtag Grizzlies Together.